Great, thank you. So, District 3 has 25 clubs. Some are as small as 3 to 6 members, and others as large as 31 members, and everything in between. So this evening, we'll begin by hearing from a few different clubs, representatives from a few different clubs about their approach to membership. This might include planning and organizing membership outreach, recruitment and sustaining membership. It might include how they recruit, perhaps using advocacy or service or programs as part of their recruitment, and what strategies they use. So I'm going to introduce a few people. The people who will be starting us out are Nancy Thompson from the Trenton Mercer Club, Kathy Gates, membership chair from Harrisburg Hershey, Nicole Barnes, president of the Mid-Maryland Club, Ellen Lewis, president of New Rochelle, and Yvonne Atterbury Brooks, who has a whole string of roles, board secretary, District 3 board secretary, member of the Prince George's County area, and also one of the main people that helped to form our new chartered club in Baltimore, the SOM there. So, and then finally, I'm going to keep Lisa Burton on line because we've been talking a lot about membership. So I'm going to let her add her 2 cents in at the end if she has anything. And then really what we want this to be, after some ideas from these folks, and I thank them so much for being willing to share and get us started this evening. We really want to have a dialogue. So many of you may have other ideas to share or questions, challenges. This is really an opportunity to share with one another across our clubs, and share ideas. So I'm going to start. Thank Nancy Thompson from Trenton Mercer and ask her if she would start.
Oh, thank you. Hi, everyone. Nice to be here. I'm in Houston, Texas right now, babysitting for my grandchildren. And so I'm stepping in because our club president is traveling. She's on a once in a lifetime vacation out to Australia and New Zealand. So, um, so with our club, I'm thinking I really don't even know, but we have about 25 members. I've been in the club since 1998, and I've enjoyed every single moment of being in the club just because it's a very positive group. Our presidents over the years have always been exceptional, and they've always really made sure that everyone felt welcome at all the meetings, and that everybody was just positive towards each other. And the message was always, we know everyone can't participate in every activity. Everyone has a different amount to give and availability. Some people have, everybody's working, taking care of kids, taking care of parents. Everybody's in a different situation, and that's okay. Whatever you can do helps the club. And so I think that's really one of the main reasons for me, actually, because I think as part of membership, sustainability and retention is just as important as, or maybe even more important than the actual membership recruitment. And so that, to me, is, the main thing, that there's such a sense of positivity and support for all of the members. And all of the members are invited and uh, encouraged to invite their friends to join, and to seek out new members. The way I got recruited back in 1998, actually 7, was they had a zing, and we still have zings at least twice a year. And so I was invited to the zing, but I had just gotten a job promotion at my work, and they had an article in the newspaper about the promotion. And so the club periodically went through those clippings in the newspapers of, like people getting advanced in their jobs. and they just invited them to a zing without knowing anybody. So when I joined the club, I didn't know one person. I had no friends in the club. I just and actually, because I had just gotten the job and I had just joined Kiwanis, I said, let me, I'm very interested. I really liked what I heard at the Zing. And, they had a lot of speakers that really went over the whole, um, the whole shebang of what Zonta was all about. And I waited a year and then joined once I had gotten myself established with the Kiwanis and with my job. So anyway, that's just kind of the main piece for me. And like I said, we still have zings all the time. And we take pictures at every meeting. We have a service project at every single meeting. And so every time we gather, we're doing something, and we vote on the budget the whole beginning of the year so that we can go through like what our projects are going to be. But this way, we invite the nonprofits that we're doing the service for to come and to bring their staff to the meeting. And so that's always, bumps up the participation and the enthusiasm, because then no matter what service we're doing, the people that are participating get to meet the people from the nonprofit that's really benefiting from our service. And our, like I said, positive presidents and communication. Like before we have a meeting, before our board meeting, we get an agenda. After our meeting is held, we get minutes. And that keeps everybody informed. So there's nobody sitting there thinking, oh, I wonder what's going to happen. I want, everybody really, I think, appreciates being in the know. And there's no guessing like, oh, this was discussed, but we didn't tell you about it. Everybody knows everything that's going on with the club. And actually, our president sends out minutes, like she sends out like a summary, and then we also have minutes that our secretary sends out after each board meeting and regular meeting. And we also use Facebook a lot. When we have any kind of events, if we're doing a fundraiser, if we want to know people to know about scholarships, we do the Facebook Live viewings. So we're just trying to always get the message out. We pay for boosts sometimes to boost up our with Facebook to just expand the audience, so that people know, even not just people that are friends with Zonta, but people that just are in the demographic area that we're looking for. So it's sometimes $25, $30 that we'll spend on a boost. And leading up to our fundraisers, like every day for like 7 or 8 days, we do a Facebook Live. So we do have a good website. I mean, a Facebook page. So if you're interested, if you look at the Zonta Club of Trenton Mercer, we also have recruited a graphic artist to our club, the editor of Mercer County Women, who every single month does a whole article on Zonta, like a half-page article in their newsletter, free for us, and promoting whatever we're doing, whether it be service projects, fundraisers, whatever, like just the mission all about Zonta, which has really been a blessing to the club that we have Kathy in there. And we also have somebody that's a website developer. So she helps us with our website. So we really try to take advantage of people's skill sets and what they have, and we find out about them, what they can do and how they can help us. And typically people that have a skill, or they work in a certain area and they feel like they could be helpful, they're more than glad to do their part by saying, I'm going to take this on. And we also have a book club like 4 times a year, which brings in people. It doesn't really bring in new people to the book club, but it lets them know. It's just letting them know what we're doing, so that when they hear about Zonta over and over and over again, they're going to hopefully say, hey, I want to be part of this group. And a lot of times the new members, that's exactly what happens. They've been to a couple zings or a couple meetings with their friends, or they've come to our fundraisers and they find out what we're doing. And they then just kind of even on their own, without too much encouragement, join up and become members. And trying to think what else we could say that, I'm sure that most clubs do all these things. We don't do anything extraordinary, but it seems to be working. And I think that's why our club continues to bring in some new members and also continues to have a lot of activities. We're always doing stuff. Every year we have a Day of the Family event. So we encourage schools throughout the whole county to participate, have their kids in elementary school um, write an essay or do a drawing for the Day of the Family, and we get $25 gift cards to Barnes and Nobles, and we typically pick about 20 winners and bring them and their families to the local library. We partner with the Mercer County Commission on Status of Women, which we reached out to them. They were more than happy to participate because they're always looking for things to do at the county level, and they have a budget. And so they pay for all the dinners for all the families every year when we have this event. And it's, sandwiches, potato salad, cookies, and waters and things like that. But it's all paid for by our county commission on the status of women. And then the commission members are all women from the community, and they also are hearing about Zonta. And, some of them have nominated our club for different awards, at the county level and things like that. So,
Nancy, that's a great kickoff to this conversation. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And I know you have to go
Yes.
join your family for dinner, but thank you for setting us off on such a great foot. Thank you.
Well, thank you. And I'm sorry if I took too long, and I'm also sorry, that I can't stay because I would be interested in hearing anything. So I'm looking forward to seeing the recording, after this is over, because I'm sure there's going to be lots of good ideas or just reminders like, oh yeah, we should be doing that again. So thank you all. And
Can I
it was
say
nice to
something?
be invited. Thank you.
Thank you, Nancy.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Nancy.
So I'm going to ask Kathy if you would go next. Kathy's again from Harrisburg Hershey.
Hello, everyone. I did want to mention to Nancy, I follow their Facebook page, and it is very well done, and actually take what they post sometimes and just share it on the Harrisburg Hershey Facebook page. So I encourage you to do that. Rather than reinvent the wheel, let's share ideas and grow with that. I've been membership chair for 8 years. I've been in the club probably about 10. And when I joined, they had a terrible system of recruiting people. Yeah, you go through all of your friends, come to the meeting, and then what? So I have membership in my background from another club. And when I became membership chair, I started getting involved in some like-minded organizations. And that's been very beneficial because the way it's supposed to work is you join their club, they join your club. And you share ideas and you collaborate on projects. And it's really worked for us in Harrisburg Hershey. And I encourage you all to think about that rather than just your friends. Reach out. Don't be afraid to reach out. It's really worked for us. We always had a meal with our meetings. And then a speaker, and then a short business meeting. And then COVID came. And we did continue with Zoom calls through COVID. And after that, we tried the Zoom, but those people who liked the face-to-face started grumbling. And, it took a little while for people to feel comfortable coming out again. So what we did last year is we had a compromise. We took a survey. We have currently 21 members, and half of the members wanted to continue with Zoom and half wanted face-to-face. So we are doing a hybrid. We do October, November, January, February are Zoom calls, and the other months are face-to-face. And that's been working out really well. And we have a gal who's really good with technology. So when we have the face-to-face meetings, we also connect to Zoom so that people who are at home and did not want to come out to the meeting can still participate. So that's been working out really well as well. We are a club of service and advocacy. We have committees. We promote the committees. So anybody new coming into the club, we encourage them to join a committee. And right now we're beefing up our advocacy. We're real convenient to the state capitol in Harrisburg. So it's real easy for us to use that location opportunity. But we do promote the service and the advocacy, and I'm finding I've got 3 members. Now, what is this? This is going into February. I've got 3 potential members interested in joining. At this time of year, that's like unbelievable. Only because we're promoting service and advocacy. You know, I told Dorothy when I talked to her earlier this week, I was on the call when the membership grant folks did their presentation about their Zing and what they did. And I loved that idea. And I took it back to service. So we had membership and service, put our heads together, and we came up with we called it Party with a Purpose in December. And we came up with this idea. We found a nonprofit that we could collect clothing items for. She told us specifically how many and what she needed. And we then put together gift bags. It was a working meeting. Gift bags, wrote a little note to them for Christmas, and everybody had such a good time. We had, the only requirement we had, it didn't cost anybody anything. You were to bring a guest and purchase an item for the bag. And it was such a success. And I want to thank Dorothy for pulling that together, because that was very helpful to our club, to me and to our club. New idea. So we hope to build upon that. Hopefully that was helpful.
Yeah, that's great. I think we're getting some great ideas, and it's nice to hear that that already some of the sharing has produced new events. So next, I'd like to invite Nicole Barnes, president of the Mid-Maryland Club, to speak, and she was actually part of that last event that you talked about, Kathy.
Hello, everyone. Well, as Dorothy said, I'm Nicole Barnes, president of Mid-Maryland. And some of the things that we do when we're looking at membership was one idea that we actually took from one of these other meetings. It was Prince George's County that did the pop-up zings. And so we went ahead and decided to incorporate that as well. And it has been successful. I know that we partnered with FEW, which is federally employed women, during their 5K walk. And we went ahead and put up a table as a pop-up zing. And so therefore, when the individuals were walking, we had, we were able to talk about Zonta, there was dancing, there was prizes, but we were able to, we had four additional individuals that were interested in Zonta and what we do. So I thought it was more, so we are using this year, as we looked at, how do we recruit members? How do we keep it interesting? How do we actually not have always the more seasoned, but also attract the younger energy as well? So I know what we have coming up, and we just had a meeting earlier, I just had a meeting last week. One of the new members came up with, and this is behind when the movie came out, The Color Purple, Zonta, Love Thy Sister. So, and I will extend the invitation to all the different Zonta clubs. We're looking at the location, which I think we're looking at one of the country clubs in Bethesda, Maryland. But anyway, we're going to do it as a roundtable talk. We're going to have panelists to talk about different women's issues. One of the thoughts that even my membership chair, my first VP, which is the membership chair, she's in California, so she was unable to join, but she brought up a really good, as we were sitting there talking, one of us started fanning ourselves. So then we were thinking about menopause, but the mental health behind it as well. How does menopause and your mental health bring in that awareness when it comes to because sometimes we don't think about, even though some of us are more seasoned than others, many of us do, we're all going to experience that in life. But then also we said we would use this as a pop-up zing as well, because it's not just working within the community, different interests about women, different issues that affect women and girls in different communities, but to invite other individuals, have those panelists, speakers where you can ask questions, give literature, and those different things. So the pop-up zings have worked very well for us, because it not just covers the advocacy piece, but it also covers our service projects as well. Again, as we reach out to the community. So that was one thing that, and I heard this from one of the other meetings when Prince George's County talked about the pop-up zings. How can this work? And again, it has been very successful for us. Instead of, Kathy had said, you ask your friends, come to a meeting, but actually just having something that you can invite someone that doesn't know anything about Zonta and bring their interest in. Of course, we're all going to talk to our friends, but it's also to spread, to help build membership, and then different ideas on what can we do, what can you do within your community. So again, the new, what I love, this past year, are the new members that were recruited just have so many wonderful ideas, and it's helping us to not continue to do the exact same thing that we kept doing for year after year after year after year.
Mhm. That's beautiful. Wow. Thank you so much, Nicole. Wow. I know there's going to be a lot of dialogue when this is building beautifully. I'm going to ask Ellen Lewis from New Rochelle if she would be next.
Okay, hi. So I was thinking a lot about this when you asked me, and I think for our club, what's worked the best is just concept. Our service projects, our advocacy events, when we focus on whatever we create, we make sure we're staying on mission. And when the people who participate hear what that event is, and it's not always Zonta that brings them into the event, but once they hear what Zonta does and how it relates to it, is how we've gotten a lot of our members. A couple of years ago, we did for February, we did a lunch and learn about teen dating violence. And we asked a pediatrician, we asked the head of the New Rochelle School District, the medical director from the New Rochelle School District, and we asked someone who works with young people, and just building awareness, health, and mental health, as well as physical and training, to be the panelists and to talk about it. And we did it as a roundtable. We asked them questions, questions for each of them to ask, but we kept bringing it back to the mission of Zonta and violence against women and how teen dating violence relates to that. But, we just kept it on. And afterwards, they said they liked what they heard. They thought it was very interesting what Zonta was doing, and they asked to join the club. More recently, we did every year we do for March our Extraordinary Women Films series at our library, because there's a movie theater there. And we had a couple of people come to one of our movies to see the movie that ended up joining the club. More recently, the 16 Days of Activism, I called someone that I know and asked her if she wanted to join us. We were doing a march, a walk for against violence against women, and she came out. We did our walk. We walked to the park. We sat. We talked a little bit, and then on the walk back, she said, "So tell me more about Zonta." And by the time we got back to our starting point, she said, "When can I join?" So I think the enthusiasm of our club members, and I have to give a lot of credit to our club members, because when people in our club talk about Zonta, they are so enthusiastic about it. Whether it's, inviting somebody that or somebody comes to another event, as long as the event keeps coming back to what our mission is, It pretty much sells itself. We did, we have a table at the library, every Wednesday through, we started yesterday and then through all of February. Just a Zonta table to give out information about, domestic violence and abuse resources, um, about Zonta, our scholarships, but we also have, voter registration forms and information on the ACP program for, people who are abuse victims who don't want their address published when they register to vote. And that's what stops a lot of, abuse victims from voting, is because they know that once they register, that becomes public and they don't necessarily want their abusers to know where they are. There is a program in New York that you can sign up for. They'll keep your address private. So we have those forms, and we just set up our little table in the library. Well, somebody who works in the library came by to see. She said, I saw the flyer for the movies and just wanted to know a little bit more about Zonta. And we talked to her. She mentioned that she's doing some environmental work. And she spent a little time talking with Lisa. I don't know, Lisa, if you want to speak a little bit more about it, but after a few minutes of talking with her, she too said, can you send me an application? I'd like to join. So making sure that the mission is in front and center with all of your service and advocacy programs. And yeah, let the enthusiastic people in the club be your ambassadors, because that's what's gotten us our members. Lisa, do you want to add anything?
Well,
Thanks so much.
Yep.
Oh, sorry, Lisa, go ahead.
No, I just wanted to add that the woman in the library who's interested in environmental justice, I directed her to the Zonta Says Now page. And we were only there for 2 hours, but she went on the website and came down and was sent an email saying, I'll have my check next week when you guys are there. I'll have my check and the application completed.
Great, great. Wow, that's great. Finally, we have I thank Yvonne Atterbury Brooks for being here from the Prince George's County Area Club. And also, as I said, with a strong liaison to the New Baltimore Club.
Hi, everybody. I'm really great listening to these stories. I've taken down a couple of things, but as Nicole said, our main way of introducing Zonta to the community is now our pop-up zings. Actually, we call all of our events now pop-up zings. Our service and our advocacy events and activities. It's an opportunity for us to set up a table with our information and talk to people about Zonta. We have a great group of people in the Zonta Club, Prince George's County, but the challenges that we faced prior to getting the grant was that our seasoned Zontans either passed on or they had health issues where they could not participate. So we had to do an instant succession plan, which we're still in the midst of, but at least we're at a point where we have an event, whether it's advocacy or service, every month. And I'm not the membership chair. I'm standing in for the membership chair, so I might not know what any questions that you need answers to. I'll have to get back with you on. But we have events and partnerships every single month as an opportunity to meet with people that are outside of ourselves, but they're like-minded. So we introduce the concepts of our work in advocacy and service. So we have been successful with the grant that yielded 7 new members with the grant, and we just inducted, I don't know how many new members, but in June we had another group that is coming through. The applications have been approved and we're getting the money through. So I don't know the exact status of that. We just formed a partnership with the League of Women Voters post the District 3 conference because we wanted to place more advocacy on more emphasis on advocacy because we've always been emphasizing service until we heard from the Zonta International representative that said service was just a treatment and that advocacy was the cure. So we've sort of repositioned ourselves to get stronger in advocacy. And actually Saturday, there's a group of us, like 5 of us, that are being trained to be moderators with the League of Women Voters to promote voting in our community, which is a very large community. So we'll see how that goes, but the training is on Saturday. But we entered to that agreement, and the idea actually came from our Z Club members at Bowie State University. Those I don't want to say kids, but those students are actively participating in getting people to vote. A lot of them it's the first time. So they're also making presentations at the candidate councils that we will eventually moderate in the upcoming election season, which looks like it's going to be beginning sooner than later. But that's pretty much where we are in Prince George's. My Zonta story is easy sell. My problem is I don't do the follow-up, but Zonta provided my mom a scholarship as a working mother of 5, single, scholarship to nursing school. And as a result, it changed her life forever and my family's life forever. So when I went into the work world, Mary Ellen Bittner and Carol Beaver sponsored me into the Zonta Club of Washington. Once I got a family, I moved on to where I lived instead of where I worked, which was the Prince George's County area. So combined membership, I've been a Zontian for over 35 years. I just have to get the record straight with international. Because they got me now for like 8 years or something. I don't know. But the love of Zonta cannot be dismissed in my family because of what they did to change our lives. So I have a lifelong commitment to Zonta. The Zonta Club of Baltimore, 4 of my family members, my 2 daughter-in-laws and 2 cousins are members of the Zonta Club of Baltimore. They did not want to join the club that I'm in. Nobody wants to join the club family member that I'm in, but the Baltimore Club is extremely active. Their mission, like ours, they have a service or advocacy project every month, but their events are also, and I don't want to say pop-up zings for them because they don't call it that, but it's an event to present Zonta and to join them in Zonta. And they now that they have a different problem than we have in the Prince George's Club. Their challenge is most of them are working professionals that are extremely busy. So a lot of the follow-up tasks are delayed when the whole business of coordinating, picking up the checks and coordinating the membership applications and the dates and all that. But they don't have a problem with generating people that want to join their organization or their club. So
That's great. Thank you to each one of you for really putting different perspectives on membership and very specific ideas. I have one more question, and I'd open it up to any of the speakers or anyone in that's on the call. But do any of your clubs include strategies for membership that involve either your Z Club, like their parents, or alumni, or Golden Z Club, or scholarship recipients in your membership recruitment strategies? Go ahead, Kathy.
I can respond. We have a Golden Z Club with Penn State, Harrisburg, and one of our members is actually their mentor. We started this a couple of years ago. And what we do, we work with them, share projects. They're very active. When it comes to graduation and they move on, back usually go home back to where they're from, I always send them an email and I congratulate them, and I send them in the direction where to find a Zonta club in their area where they're moving back to. We have one successful story. One of the, I think she was actually president of the Golden Z. She went back home and she joined a Zonta club there. So that's what we do in Harrisburg.
That's fabulous. Anybody else?
Ellen
Um,
has her hand raised.
Oh,
Dorothy.
Ellen, I didn't see your hand. Go ahead.
Yeah, our 2014 Young Women in Public Affairs winner, once she got out of school, she did come back and join our club.
Oh, great. Great. So you must have kept in touch with her over those years.
Her mother was a member, and so but she remembered you know, what we were doing from when she was a scholarship winner. And when she got to the point in, you know, graduating from school, she said she really wanted to pick that and be a member of it as well.
That's great. Lisa, did you want to say anything more about that? I know you've been thinking a lot about it lately.
Yeah, I have always wondered how we don't connect with our scholarship winners. Last year at CSW, someone from the DC club, it wasn't a Zonta scholarship, but it was a DC club scholarship. Was like, oh, Zonta's here. I just moved to New York, and Zonta gave me this wonderful scholarship in DC, and how do I connect? And it shouldn't be like a random person in the street at a rally. You know what I mean? It's like we could do a little bit better than that. So the district we're going to start asking our clubs, even if they didn't win the district award, to send us the name and the contact of your winners, so that we can we have a governor D3 Gmail account, that we can keep information in a database so that it doesn't leave from one, scholarship chair to the next, or doesn't leave from one governor to the next, that we can start building that database and, invite them to, and clubs should do this as well. If you have a newsletter, you should invite your Z and Golden Z Club members to subscribe to your newsletter. We're going to start asking our scholarship winners to subscribe to our district newsletter. ZI information does not go out to Z clubs. The information that we get, and some people do have a problem with as the number of Zonta international emails, but they don't connect in that way. So, we have Caitlin is with the DC club. She was our Jane Klausman scholarship winner the year that Joanne was governor. And she came and she spoke with a number of other, so we had 4 different scholarship winners at Joanne's conference, which was a centennial, and we had one of them join, and she's been a great Zontian. And we had someone come and speak from the UN the year that Donna Clark was the governor, and she joined the Brooklyn Club as a founding member.
Wow.
And she's been a great Zontian. And there are people who have connections with us that just need to be asked. So so again, we're working on it. And if you guys have any ideas on how we can kind of grow that opportunity, all ears. There's nothing wrong with trying. It may not be successful, but we are all about the try. Hi, Elizabeth, I see your hand.
Okay, I just wanted to say that this is not my bailiwick. I wish Maria were here. She could talk about it better than I can. But our Young Women in Public Affairs awardee, her brother is our newest member.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
And So I think that's pretty exciting. And
Oh,
they joined us in December for our Christmas lunch.
huh.
That's great.
Elizabeth, did the mom join too? I remember meeting the mom. She was quite interested.
No,
She didn't.
she
Okay.
hasn't joined.
That's wonderful. So that's great. Wow, cool story. I'm throwing it open. Anyone who wants to say anything about this or anything, questions, comments, things to share? Go ahead, Yvonne.
One of the things that our club is wrestling with, especially with our senior members, and me being a senior member, I still don't think that I'm there yet either. But once we did away with the classifications, that was such a strong element and criteria up until recently, that there's some concerns about who's eligible, who's eligible to be a Zonchan. And our club has been struggling with it because we feel like if they're like-minded, for the most part, I'm not saying everybody feels that way, but if they're like-minded and they have any type of professional contribution to make to their community, that we call them eligible. But most of our seasoned members do not feel that way. And one of the other things is that we have met historically since the beginning, since the 80s, in the same place, which is a country club in our community. And that seems to be a put off for our younger members, a real put off. So we're still challenging. We're not having a problem gaining members because it's like-minded, but getting younger members, it has posed a challenge. Now, what we're doing temporarily, they're going over to Baltimore, but that's not very helpful with solving the problem we're having. So we, our clubs, I'm not gonna say problem because it's the numbers are there, but it's a challenge. Younger club members, they don't want to meet in Baltimore, a country club. They just have rejected that entire concept. And then Lisa and Dorothy, and I'll give you feedback on the couple of members that came to the E Club meeting and have not joined or lost interest. So we need to talk about that too. There seems to be some confusion with that. So
Indeed. Nikki, your hands up.
Yeah, hey, Yvonne, I was going to, because we're in a very similar area and we were meeting in the same space.
yeah, and
And so what we started doing and one, when we do the retreat, I actually do it in my home because I'm not saying you have to do it in your home, but it makes it fun. The first time I did it, a lot of the members said, "Oh, this was more relaxed," because at the country club it was kind of you're more uptight, but they were relaxed, and things like that. But also we started looking at other venues, and so because we're in the same area, you might want to check out Old Bowie Town and Grill, I think it's called. They have the upstairs that you can actually, Lisa, you were there when we did the induction. It was, and the food wasn't as expensive as what you're going to have to pay when you go to the country club. And so it makes it more of a not laxed atmosphere, but it gives it's just a different atmosphere. So my PR committee is just looking at other places that we can do that as well. But I'm just throwing that option out there. You have Bowie Town and Grill, which would still be close for a lot of your members to be able to drive there.
thank you.
You're
Thank
welcome.
I have a question. I'm curious, of the members who are here tonight, do you all have a meal at your meetings, your face-to-face?
Yeah, we do. And and they're expensive meals
Yeah.
too for younger people.
Yeah, right.
I don't know how much it is, but it's like $30. 30. I
Does
don't. Is anybody else here from Prince George's? Wait a minute, maybe they can be a little bit better than me.
Carolyn is.
Carolyn Lewis.
Oh, Carolyn's one of our newer members. Maybe she can weigh in on. Carolyn, I don't see you on my screen, but
No pressure.
but maybe she can give us feedback, and I'll convey to our membership person, but it is relatively expensive, like Nicole was saying, for a monthly meeting, but we've been doing it since the 80s, and basically there I will not be able to get that to change, but I can do options. Like we do have the retreat at our president's home, so maybe do more things outside of the country club might be a better option.
I'm
about
finding, I'm
how
sorry,
about-
Dorothy.
Oh,
I'm finding that our older members too like the meal because they've always done it that way. And then it becomes a social for them, but it doesn't include any of the new members. The newer members could care less. Like I could care less if we have a meal because it's too expensive. I'm there to talk about what we do and what we can do and plan for the future.
Okay.
I don't care about a meal. So then I was thinking, well, maybe I could present to the board that we just have a snack afterwards. I'm a member of AAUW, and that's what they do. They have a speaker, they do a business meeting, and then they have snacks afterwards. So there you have your socialization, and it works very well.
Yeah.
But I was just curious how many here have to have a meal with their meeting?
Does anybody else
you-
want to weigh in?
Does
Um,
does the
um,
AAUW, do they bring the snacks with them?
Yes. Yes, they have rotation. Everybody sort of just volunteers.
Because I was listening to the individual who said that they had a 50-50 hybrid. I'm not sure whether
That's
that
me.
was you, Kathy.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Um,
The other thing, I wanted to make a comment. We are learning, I don't know where, if I read it or heard it, that the younger generation will not join clubs, but they will join a cause or an event or something like that. So when you're trying to recruit younger members, you have to keep that in mind. They don't want to go to a meeting, a face-to-face meeting with a meal. They don't want that.
They don't.
That's where we get our half and half of who wants Zoom and who wants face-to-face. So we're trying to do that hybrid thing, and it's been working, but we'll see how it goes.
Is
You
there
know,
is there anybody else on the call that hasn't said anything that wants to weigh in from another club? Yeah, Rosa?
Yeah. So yeah, I just want to bring them to, so for the Zonta Club, we consider ourselves hybrid, but hybrid in a sense that we have our meetings, our week meetings via Zoom. And then we have our holiday annual meeting, and then our social in person. And that has been working for our club, but we still have the things more of our seasoned members, the retirees. They would like to meet more often. But I'm in Greensboro, and my vice president, she's working full time, and so we're working full time. So we're trying to think of our retirees that want to get together, that for them to try. We figured they need to figure out what to do as a group. We can't, because we're working together as for the whole group, and so so we do have that problem, with people that want to meet in person, and then people that prefer Zoom. I think for me, because I'm in North Carolina, that with COVID and turning into Zoom, for me, that has helped our club, where we have a lot more participants in our meetings. But we're still getting the gripe about wanting to meet more in person. And so what we're doing right now, so we have two young professionals in our group. And one is Caitlin Jones, who Lisa was talking about before, which was the Jane Klausman Scholarship. She's in our club, and actually she's in New Jersey, but she's still in our club. She participates virtually. And then Caitlin Di Benedetto, she's also a young professional, and she's recently looked into some fellowship activities, And like one was last weekend where we had, and I know people from Prince George and Howard County came to the meeting, came to that, which where we went to the US Capitol and saw, did a tour and saw the Amelia Earhart statue. And so we're finding that, for to get better participant, to meet in person is on the weekends. So therefore that's our plan right now, is to stick with to do programs, things, you know, our club meets the first Wednesday of every month. And so we still keep up with doing that, but we do it via Zoom. And then, we try to do activities on the weekends, and then try to have maybe some smaller activities where people can get together. And like, for some of our retirees in our group, if they want to get together, I mean, that's to me is the next step, trying to get them to get their own little thing going, to meet and get together and stuff. So, but we're struggling. I mean, with membership too, and so we're trying to our my next board meeting, which is was it February 11th. So as a board, we're working together as a board to see what we can do, because we were having problems with the membership committee. We've had a lot of changes and stuff like that. So now we're taking it on as the board. What can we do? And get some ideas.
That's great. Yvonne?
I really am interested in that weekend discussion. Perhaps we can evolve into, we have most of our I want to say outreaches, at least for service, are on the weekends. So maybe we can do a better job of including the people that want to have face-to-face with us as an option. And I'll relay that to the Baltimore Club too, because all their meetings are virtual and their activities are face-to-face. So this might be something that's in their club that we don't realize it and haven't identified it. So that's good.
Carolyn, you had come off of mute a couple of times. Did you want to weigh in?
Yes, I'm sorry. Can you hear me? I'm
Yeah.
sure you hear me. Okay. Hi, everyone.
Hi.
I just joined Zonta, I think about a year. It's been a year, right, Yvonne? I think it's been a year.
I don't, it's not been a year yet. It might
Oh,
feel
okay.
like
I don't know.
but thank
Okay.
you.
Yeah. I know we do have the meals at our meeting, and yeah, it's about $30 a meal. For me personally, I'm a business, I would rather get to the business, first and eat last. For those who wants to eat, could eat last or whatever. But I do like the business part of it, and I like face to face. I've really enjoyed the meetings because I'm learning a lot about the Zana and the service and the advocacy group. I'm learning so much. I'm so excited about what's going on, and willing to help any way I can. But the question would be, I do like the face to face. Meals is good. I mean, I think mostly that they come for people who come right from work. They, instead of eating late, they want to eat beforehand, because so they won't go home and eat late. I get that, I really get that. Which I work from home, so I can eat before I come, but it's good to have face-to-face meetings and for meals for those who will want it. So just wanted to touch bases on that.
And
we
I
have-
want to also share that Carolyn has come to our club bursting with enthusiasm and donations. She donates, she puts us all to shame at every single opportunity to give. So we are very, very thankful for her in our organization. She gives to the foundation and our club on a regular basis. But when I talk about like-minded, that's what we're looking for. It's not the quantity, it's the quality of the new members. So
Yeah.
we are focused on that. We don't want to bring them in for them to leave after they get their tag on a job opportunity and all that. We're looking for people that are like-minded to serve for the duration. And Carolyn's one of those. So thank you, Carolyn. I can't see you on my screen, so I don't know.
I know because I have it on I don't oh, here is the video. Okay. Maybe you're gonna see me now.
Okay.
I'm like, I see the mute button. I say, where is the video? So
Okay.
hi
Good.
everybody.
Hi, good to see you.
Vivian, did you want to say something?
No, I just didn't know how to get my picture shown.
Exactly.
I had no idea how to do it.
Well, we're glad to
we
see
have-
everybody.
We have several members. We have members here from Long Island, from Howard County, from Peconic Bay, and from Annapolis. Do any of you want to throw in your 2 cents or ask questions, or? We're delighted you're here. Oh, and Leslie was here. I think she left.
I will just
Brooklyn.
say, yeah, I'll just say that I was one from Howard County who attended the DC's tour of the Capitol, and it was great. And so that I appreciate your club organizing that. So thank you.
Thanks,
I'll
Bonnie. Yeah.
I'll just say 2 cents.
Okay.
When we have fundraising, we talk about Zonta and people express their interest then and what we do. And that's just another way of recruiting people.
That's
Vivian,
great.
what club are you from? Or what-
Peconic. I don't know I don't know how it came on other people, but I'm from Peconic Bay.
Great, great.
on
Thank
Long
you
Island.
so much. That's great. Anybody from Annapolis or Long Island want to say anything?
Well, this has been very, very helpful. Lots and lots of ideas, but also a lot of questions. And I thought I'd try to get back to some of the people that talked about different things. I would love to get a book club going in our for our group, and I was wondering, if I could talk later on to Nancy, I think it was Nancy Thompson, who said they have a book club. Maybe other groups do too. But we're a small club, and unfortunately, we're getting smaller. We're losing people who are moving, who are taking on grandparent obligations, and that's moving them out of the area. So we're really desperate to get new members and to keep new members. So anything anybody wants to do to help us out is a good idea. I also like the idea of trying to join up with another group in the area that's like-minded, like League of Women Voters. I've belonged to that for forever. So maybe I should reach out to somebody there and see if we can connect.
Yeah, thank you, Rosalie. That's good. I think, I mean, I'm in Essex County, and I think a lot of us are, like we have to come back, like always. I think everybody stated it so well, keep the mission kind of in front of us in whatever we do, but also keep being creative about how we reach out through our advocacy, through our service, through programs, through pop-up things, to keep inviting people in, that maybe it doesn't have to be our own friend, but people that are in the community that might be interested if they hear about it through any one of these means. And each one of you, everybody who's shared, has done such a great job of sharing all these different ways that we can do membership. I want to just, unless someone has something else to say, we're about at the hour. And I want to say that the intent of this was not to just like have the definitive membership conversation, but have ideas to continue this conversation, and keep sharing ideas and keep asking questions, keep sharing challenges that we're having, and see if people can offer solutions. So we're going to be posting a little feedback form, but just if you have ideas for the next time, just email either me or Lisa, and let us know what you might want to talk about, and or what your questions are. And if you don't mind taking a couple minutes after the meeting and just filling out a quick feedback survey, that would help us too. I just want to thank everybody for being here this evening. I want to give special thanks to those who spoke and offered advice and experiences. I think it was a beautiful array that went together really, really nicely. We didn't rehearse this at all, so this was really, really a dialogue. And I thank everybody and wish you all a wonderful evening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And again,
Thank
if
you.
anyone needs
you, Dorothy.
introductions, Rosalie, if you need an introduction to Nancy, or if you want more information about anything that you heard, just hit Dorothy or myself back and we will make those connections, because we are one big happy district, so. Thank you, everyone.
Where,
Thank you.
where's
All
the,
right.
where's the
Good
survey?
night.
Bye now.
Aye.
Dorothy, you want to stay on? I'm just gonna end the
Yeah.
recording.
Where's the survey?